like I promised.
All right,
Beginning
sounds
left.
good.
Beginning them. When they pass their own side.
Okay.
Their insurance side.
Oh, good.
Sarah,
Okay.
we're Streaming now.
All right.
Okay.
Hope you like the chat.
You ready? You ready? Good evening. Welcome to the Brookfield Select Board meeting Thursday, July 16, 2026 at 7 p.m. at the Brookfield Town Hall. This is a joint meeting with the Board of Assessors. This meeting will be live streamed and recorded. Please stand for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have no members participating remotely. Signed warrants fiscal year 26-27 payroll in the amount of $130,329.70. Fiscal year 27-1 payroll in the amount of $47,940.95. And fiscal year 26-27 accounts payable in the amount of $648,601.36. We're gonna take some things out of order. Do you want to start with number one? You can get that out of the way for you two.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. All right.
And I'm not quite sure what the status is, because before, like, as of the turn of the month, I thought I had talked to Jacob, and I didn't realize that we needed some sort of vote of the board to provide remote access. For the contract, or the contract.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That question didn't come my way before, so I'm not sure.
So we had collectively signed the contract for Diane Bishop to provide some assessment services, right?
I remember that.
And part of that was that she would have access to the computer remotely. Did we get that set up, or?
So I reached out to them twice, and I was actually just saying this to Patty, but a few minutes ago, I haven't heard back.
I think they might have been away. Okay, so it's not that we haven't denied, that we've denied them access, it's just we haven't been able to connect to get
We're
access.
just trying to figure out what the best, what they needed and the best way to get them.
Ew, okay.
So she can work, so she can have access to the computer, if there's anything that she needs to do, especially later in the year.
Correct.
Tax rates on.
Right, so I mean, there's really, and she should be familiar with this, I'm kind of surprised that she hasn't been in touch with us yet, so we may need to address that.
Like, and first they will make contracts that. Just not like only a couple weeks ago.
Right. Okay.
I'll reach out to them and get them.
Okay, great. So, because so long as there's no objection, I mean, the typical process would just be we connect the individual that needs access to the systems, and you provide access to a vendor the same way that you would provide access to an employee.
Yeah.
So
I assume we're gonna provide her a laptop or something so she can remote
she
in or
wouldn't,
some
she
sort
wouldn't
of.
need our hardware to remote.
Oh, okay. All right. Perfect.
I don't believe.
Just,
Jake, would you be able to answer one quick question?
yeah, sure. You want me up here?
Sure.
If you don't
So
mind.
people can hear me, yeah.
Just a question, and I don't believe it's not, someone doesn't have to have a town piece of hardware to get access to the system.
No.
And all of our systems are, like, all of our software right now is a software as a service relative to the assessor software, or is it just that they have to remote in?
Yeah, so for a couple of pieces of software are actually housed on servers in the basement. So
Okay.
they have to at least connect into the building first.
Right.
So we just use their equipment and they can remote into one of the desktops
One
in
of
there.
the desktops. Okay, great. So,
Is that it?
yep.
Okay,
that's it.
great.
So yeah, so we don't have to issue any hardware.
Good. All right. That's fine.
sir.
Yeah.
That was the situation. We're not a secret classified government program, so we don't necessarily have to be, on our own hardware, so. Okay, great. That's why I was turning mine off. Sorry about that. I could just be louder and use hers.
Yeah, just do that.
Okay, so I don't think we need a vote for that, because that's just standard practice. We just need to connect with the vendor, so.
You want to do 4 too?
Yes, well, I'd like to do 3 and 4 for 10.
Yeah, we can do 3 and 4. You want to combine them? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
so, the second item that we had, and, I know Blythe can speak to it as well. We had held several meetings, hadn't heard back, like regarding process and regarding kind of like the pile of resumes that we originally received from the assessor. I didn't count like every single one that we got in, but we got like 25 resumes in. At the assessor meetings, had gone through, didn't go through collectively, but I had gone through and done like a screen for some basic criteria based on either experience with real estate, experience with something municipal, or in some instances like computer skills or geography. We got a total of, I think it was 8 candidates. I phone screened about a dozen candidates. I turned over 8 to Blythe and asked her to do the interviews, because I wanted a kind of like a neutral third party to be the primary person making the decision, because I know I have some hiring biases. I didn't know any of the people personally necessarily that were in the bucket, so there was no issues there. And then after my initial phone screens, Blake scheduled a number of interviews with folks. And I'll let you pick up from there relative to recommendations and selections.
So I reviewed the short list that I received from Beth and scheduled, I tried to schedule 5 different interviews. I ended up scheduling 4. And each of those candidates had some of the aspects that she was talking about, but not really the full picture that I hoped we would be able to achieve. As I was going through that, another resume came in from Mr. Nugent, who's here tonight. And so I looked into that because of his educational background, his experience in an administrative management role for a private firm, but still administrative work. And I contacted him for an interview and felt that his background and his keen interest in local government was something that I think could value the town. And so interviewed him and followed up with Beth just to clarify if I was on the right track. And subsequently did reference checks and felt it was worthwhile to make him an offer, which we discussed, and he has accepted orally, subject to the assessors and the select board's vote. And the salary was within the range of what was advertised for the position.
I'm good with it. Just had a chance to speak with Eric before the meeting started, and I'm not going to delay anymore. I think you guys took care of it. Good job. And I'll make a motion to appoint Eric Nugent to our Board of Assessors as second, or is he just?
Assistant
prime-
assessor.
Assistant assessor, okay.
Correct.
For the assistant assessor position.
I'll second that.
Oh, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Eric, do you mind just coming up and
You wanna come
introducing
introduce
yourself?
yourself?
And
Yeah.
we should have had you come up sooner and get right in
know.
here on the hot seat, but. Right here? Yeah, good. So welcome aboard, and when are you gonna start? Monday?
Monday I start.
Okay, good job.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
Do you want to just do the like elevator pitch version of your history, if you don't mind?
Yeah,
Just
sure.
Mostly for the community, folks
Sure.
that you might get to know
Yeah.
sooner or later.
Yeah, my name is Eric Nugent. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I got my bachelor's degree in emergency management after the Marine Corps. Prior to that, I worked for 3 years as an administrative manager for a private firm. And following my bachelor's degree, I went right into my master's in public administration about 9 months ago. And I'm happy to start with the town of Brookfield on Monday.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you Monday.
Yes.
Yeah, see you Monday.
See you Monday. Thank you.
Question tables. We don't want to start with an accident. before we start.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Number 5, review and execute contracts for the water system. Contract with East National Water LLC, water operator services, and contract with Rebecca Ruffley for procurement services, water. Don,
Should we call someone up?
Blythe,
Either.
somebody want to start? Bruce, you want to come up too? No, it's not, no.
I can share.
I called an emergency water commission meeting for this purpose so that we could answer any questions that you may have. So I'd like to call a water commission to order at 7:10. I'd like to ask if the minutes from the select board can suffice as minutes for our water commission meeting. Or do I need to take separate minutes?
No, I think you can use ours
Yeah.
or publish them as an extract from our.
Okay, thank you. I'd like a motion from the Water Commission to recommend to the Select Board to award the contract to East National Water. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. I'd also like a motion to recommend to the Board of Selectmen the award of the contract to Rebecca Ruffley on the procurement services for the water. So you have a motion, you second it. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. So brief history, we did get the contract yesterday. We did have an emergency meeting this morning to take a look at the contract. It's been amended in accordance with the recommendations by the town administrator and town council. The commission feel that it's a good contract. And so I'll try to answer any questions that you may have, but we certainly recommend that you sign that contract and approve it.
So Beth, you want to start or? I had a couple questions.
No, go ahead with your question.
So can you tell me what it's going to cost us and how long is it? It's 3 months or 2 months?
So my personal thought was to go 6 months. It was recommended that we go 2 months and then 1 month increments as necessary, up to 2 months increments as necessary, as may be necessary. The cost is $8,250 per month. That is within the budget numbers for the primary operator and a secondary operator. They will be responsible for all those functions. And that salary, that contract price is for 30 days of the month, well, 31 days.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah.
Correct.
And then, so I think it's a great deal but the only concern I had is how much coverage do we have on a daily basis out of that contract versus an employee?
Their regular hours are stated in the contract as being 8 to 5. I do not anticipate they will be here 8 to 5. I do not know exactly what those hours will be. I'm kind of waiting to hear back from Mass DEP on the minimum requirements. But there is a Mass DEP form, I believe it's 601, that the contractor must sign that ensures that they are compliant with Mass DEP contracted water services.
And then what about repairs? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, and just to follow up on that, for whatever reason, and I find it confusing, but it's just the law. There are different requirements on the contractors than there is on the
Yeah, versus,
municipality,
yeah.
right? So, right, wrong, or indifferent, that's the way that it works.
So my next question though is when we have a repair, and we don't have many, but we probably get a half dozen a year, it seems. How will those be handled?
They will handle it just like an employee would handle it. If we have to hire out contracted service, we'll have to do that.
So they would not be willing to do the digging or any of the repairs?
They mentioned that they do have a contractor that they work with. But we also have a contractor that we've been using for years and are quite comfortable with. Our thought basically was to stick with the contractor that we know. Not that I don't have any,
I just know that some of these private companies do their own repairs, and I didn't know if that was part of this, and I was.
I can ask that question tomorrow. I'm having a meeting with him to make a transfer of the keys and operations, and I have a number of documents and questions that he.
They do not have it in-house.
Okay.
Correct.
That was my.
He has a contractor that they work with.
I think
They
we
also
a
have an
good-
engineer that they work with and an accountant and so on and so forth.
I think we have a good relationship with the contractor that's been doing the work.
That's exactly what our thought was.
And when I see the quality of his work, like on Mill Street, I thought he did a great job, right down to the final paving, and so.
Don, could you just give the public a brief synopsis of why we are at this point?
I can. So as you know, back in February, well, actually back in December, December 26th to be exact, we managed to have a operator come on and be willing to run our system for us until we got a full-time superintendent in place. She took over on a 30-day contract, extendable up to 90 days. And that was wonderful. So she got us from December 26th to February 23rd when we hired the water superintendent employee full-time. When we hired Nolan, we understood that he was one of his licenses, which is a treatment license, T1, was held by Mass DEP as an operator in training. The Mass DEP granted him a 6-month emergency operator certificate to run the treatment plants as a primary operator. That emergency certificate was due to expire August 26th. In the middle of June, we found out from our superintendent that his application as a T1 operator was denied. So as of August 26th, we were going to be without an operator. So we posted the job, and we have been looking for another superintendent. Then on July 1st, Nolan gave us a 2-week notice of his resignation, which takes effect tomorrow.
Okay.
So we basically had, much like we did when Dennis left, about 2 weeks in order to come up with a solution. We reached out to any number of water operators, engineering firms, companies that have been approved by Mass DEP or that have worked for other communities. And this company has worked for, I think he gave us about 5 or 6 different communities that they have run their systems with. We did reach out to a couple of those communities, and they were very pleased with the services they were provided.
So did anyone else submit a bid?
No. So the process right now, that's the reason for the contract for Rebecca, is to have her prepare documents so that we can go out for bid.
So this first portion, because of it's an emergency nature, as you have not sought bids for, but you will in the future.
We are going to continue to post for a employee superintendent,
Okay,
and we will pursue options for a long-term contract, whatever that may be, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years.
how long will they take it on a month-by-month basis?
When we talked with him initially, he was hoping for a 6-month, which he said he would do. But, so the contract is, right now, is 2 months with 2 monthly extensions. So I'm anticipating that, you know, we should come to some conclusion in 4 months.
Just to be clear though, there are no applicants for the position of superintendent, not a single applicant came in.
We-
They billed them $1,200 today for advertising, not a single.
We had one inquiry, and it was not an applicant. They just wanted to receive a copy of the full position description, which you provided. So it's now been almost 5 weeks, and we have not received one applicant.
You know what that's like.
In the past, we have used Indeed, and we would get numerous applicants that are totally unqualified. So we did not utilize Indeed this time.
I think this may be the best solution to the problem, even long-term. Because if it works out, it's certainly more cost-effective in the end.
I don't know if it's more cost effective. It is within our budget right now for the primary operator and the secondary operator. That's
By
correct.
the time you don't pay health insurance, retirement. sick
That
days.
is correct. You're not paying any of that. They will, if there is an emergency after hours or a call after hours, it's very expensive.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's my question, because it says request for customer shut-offs or after regular working hours, which we don't do. Request for service problems after the curb stop shall be charged to the town of Brookfield at an hourly rate of $80 plus time and 1/2 rate for the hours outside of 8 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Correct.
So it's $80 plus time and a
Yeah,
half, yeah.
But so
Do we do that?
our
many?
licensed contractor that does the work, do they have to be overseen by this person if there's a water main break, or are they licensed to handle it without oversight?
They typically won't do the turnoffs and stuff.
I do believe that it should be the town's responsibility to oversee whatever work is being done.
So at that point, we have to use the contract.
I think you're gonna have, right.
Yeah, okay, I just wanted to.
Yep.
You would also need to pay our own operator overtime to come for
Exactly.
some emergency, so
Yeah.
you still are bearing some
A
cost.
lower rate, but
Yeah.
it probably.
Yeah,
So our rules and regulations are gonna be modified, so that if somebody wants a service call in the middle of the night.
They're
We-
gonna have to get charged.
We are probably going to review if we have service calls and a non-emergency service call that the contractors, that's probably, we're going to have to talk about billing the customer for that call.
Do you have any other secondary operators that are willing to stay on, or are those all?
So this contract, if you sign it tonight, is effective as of tomorrow. We have a secondary operator that will cover Friday night until 1 o'clock, and then she is also covering Saturday and Sunday. So the contractor, because he really has not had a chance to understand the system and walk the system with our operator, we will do that on Monday. At their suggestion, they would prefer to utilize their own secondary operators as opposed to us and them kind of a operation.
I guess I was just wondering if it could work if we use the secondary operator for a water main break versus using them and then a private contractor to do the work.
I think this is kind of outside the scope of the contract at this
Right.
point. I think, I
Okay.
think that's outside the scope of, in particular, this emergency contract. I think that's a conversation probably
But he
for,
already stated, since you signed the contract, they're in charge.
Okay,
Therefore liabilities and stuff would have to switch back and forth.
okay.
Hence, they would like to utilize their own secondary operators as well.
Okay.
I think these are good questions because as we go out to bid, following Mass General Law, if we have some nuances that we need to be clear about when we put that bid out, we have a chance to do that. And see how many bids we receive, I assume besides East National, and what that looks like long-term.
Eric? I don't have any more questions. I think it's, I don't think it's a bad solution.
I think it's horrible, but that's what we are.
Well, I know, with the workforce today, that's just what we're up against.
I agree.
I think it's horrible, but it's half as horrible as some of the other companies that have offered us for the same work.
But I thought the numbers
that
were gonna
fair?
be a lot higher.
Absolutely.
Now, we're happy with the information we received from this company so far, very happy. It's just the environment we're in today, and you can't hire your own help.
Right.
Right.
All right. I'll make a motion that we sign the contract for East National Water LLC.
Second,
Any more discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 I do have a couple of quick questions now that you've approved it. I don't know what the status is with a query check for a contracted service. Is a query form is required?
I don't think so for this, for a contract, and especially this is not a situation where somebody's working with people at risk or, yeah, I think it would be fine.
Okay, I just,
I think we can look into it more, though. Why don't we run that by town council and just make sure?
my other comment and question is the contractor will be utilizing the water truck when they're going to customers and doing work in town. It will not leave town unless it was to go on a water call for some reason. Like if you go to the lab, they would
When they
take
go
it,
to Danielson or Dayville,
Correct.
wherever it is, they'll use it.
go
for
to
that.
microbac if necessary. They may in fact use another lab.
Okay.
That will be up to them. The other question I had was, a number of years ago, we talked about providing photo IDs for employees, and I know we don't have that in place now. I have drafted up a letter of introduction for the employees that will be working in town. Is there any mechanism for getting a photo ID for a contracted employee? And I realize this is only for 2 months and possibly for 4 months. And if the letter of introduction is sufficient for that time period, then I guess we can go by that.
I mean, mostly they're gonna be in the town truck if they went door to door. so-
They will be in the town truck if they go to door. They will have a letter of instructions, and they will carry their distribution license, their treatment license, and their photo ID on their driver's license. So I'm just trying to cross all the Ts and be sure that we are in good shape.
I think between the distribution license and photo ID, that should be sufficient.
Correct. Okay. We good?
So the other item is the contract with Ms. Ruffley for the procurement services to do the follow-up bid. They need to vote on that as well.
I'll move that we accept the agreement for procurement services from Rebecca Ruffley.
Second,
Any discussion?
how much is that cost?
Not to exceed $3,000.
It's $75 an hour, so
Okay.
it's a number that's for the purpose of just making sure it doesn't exceed.
All right, I don't know if it's beyond that, but I know the principal at the elementary school offered some of that help, but we have the money in the budget. It's up to you.
I do have a question. Is she gonna open the bids too?
We will here, I
We
assume.
will?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, but is she gonna come to town or no?
I think that's a place where we could save a little money. We
Okay.
can handle that ourselves. But she's got the experience to put together one of the bid documents she showed me for another town was over 100 pages.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure
probably
she
long.
puts that together, but the actual bid opening I can handle with the water commissioners.
All right,
No
perfect.
worries.
Can I have a copy of the signed contract so I can present it to the contractor tomorrow? If that's possible.
This one has their signature on it. The water commissioners, it asks for your signature, the three of you, this one, and then this one. We can sign.
I think we actually, right, I think we actually need to sign the water commission, the one that has the water commissioner signatures on it. I don't believe they have contracting authority.
You already, I know, I
No,
think
but
it's
I
us, so.
think this one,
No,
I think this one will also. need to-
I don't
So
know.
I think we would be best to have both the water commissioners and us sign that, even if we just handwrite in our names,
Sure.
That's fine.
unless we vote to have Blake sign on behalf of the board.
Yeah, we can do that too.
Do you want that as a motion?
Yeah, sure.
I'll move that we authorize Blake to sign on behalf of the select board, to certify the water contract.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'm sorry, I should probably be more formal, but. Or first name kind of board.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're signing that. Yeah,
Motion to adjourn the Water Commissioners meeting at 7:31. All in favor? Aye, thank you.
all right, we all set? All right, going up to number 2, share final design plans for the sidewalk ramp.
Good evening. I'm John O'Leary, Principal Planner at the Central Mass Regional Planning Commission. Thank you for giving us the opportunity tonight to present our final design
Thank
plans.
you.
Just a quick,
Sorry.
brief background on the project and where we are to date. The town, through a fiscal 22-23 community development block grant, received $1.2 million. The original activity funded through that grant was infrastructure improvement project on Kimball Street. I don't know if you had a chance to see that, but that has been substantially complete. As a result, the town did have an available $210,000 available as part of that grant. After meeting with the select board in spring, as well as consulting with the highway superintendent at the time, we felt a good use of the remaining funds would be reprogrammed into this sidewalk project, both in terms of it being done in the time that we have left with the grant, and then it being eligible through the community development block grant program. So tonight, Bill is going to present his final design plans, and then we'll open it up to make sure there aren't any questions before we get the select board's blessing to put it out to bid. With hopeful that the construction will start sometime late August and be wrapped up by the end of September or shortly thereafter. Yep, so that's all right. Do you help Bill?
Nope, okay, trying to level it out. All right, so I'm Bill Story from Weston and Sampson. Did the work on Kimball Street, so we're giving this work. So I'm not gonna go through every intersection. We're doing, I think there's a total of 30 ramps that are gonna be made compliant. So I'm just gonna kind of go over, there's 2 different kinds of replacements that we're doing. One of them, so this would be Kimball Street, so this is north of where the work, well, for one, I should say, none of these ramps are compliant, mainly because they do not have the detectable pad, the dome, truncated dome pad that indicates to pedestrians with visual problems that you're about to cross the road. So that's really the driving force behind these. A few of them didn't meet the, they exceeded the slopes, maximum slopes mandated by the ADA. So at Hyde Street and Kimball Street, that one, for example, the existing, so to make the entire ramp system compliant, the running slope across the road cannot exceed 5%, and the cross slope on the road can't exceed 2. So on Kimball Street, I don't probably have it was it was probably like a 5% cross slope. So this one will be replacing the ramps with the to get the detectable pad, installing granite just to match all the other curb ramps in the area. But I need to reconstruct a section of that road to change the grade a little bit so that we can have an accessible path across the road. So we have, I think, 4 situations like that out of all the crossings we're doing. The other, and there was another one on Kimball Street at the top on Hayden. And the typical example of what we're doing though would be at the Hyde Street, Pleasant Street intersection where the existing running slope and the existing cross slopes all meet ADA guidelines. So it's strictly a ramp replacement. So, and we'll be, where there isn't granite, we're gonna put granite in to match. It's kind of the standard Mass DOT detail, and it's the way all the ramps were done on all the projects that have been done throughout this entire area. If you look on like that little map there, on that page, that kind of indicates, each one of those rectangles indicates where we're doing the work.
Okay.
I don't want to go, we could go through each one, if they're all kind of, they're all the same, a little bit different, we have multiple crossings here, but all the existing slopes are good.
Is it all bituminous concrete? Is that what we're using?
No, we're gonna use cement.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, to kind of match, it matches kind of what was done on Central Street.
Okay.
And I think it'll be easier for the contractors, because they can form right up against, when they saw cut them. So, as you can see, there's plenty of ramps for the contractor to do. I think John had given the board a cost estimate. It's gone up a little bit since then, since these are more finalized plans. And then the last one would be at the bottom of Howard and Pleasant. So what I wanted to do is so the budget's a little, right now I think it's 198, something like that. I don't like being that high up against the ceiling of the project. So 3 of the ramps that require the road reconstruction, I'm including as an alternate. So there'll be a base bid. It'll be all like the simpler ones. Should keep, so I just don't want, since there's a time frame that this work has to get done, if we bid this and we don't do an alternate, if the bid's coming too high, then we have to rebid it. We've lost, a month by the time you get to go to bid, get the, contract signed. So I have the 2 Kimball Street ones and the one at the bottom. They're gonna be the priciest ones because they involve road reconstruction. So I'm indicating them as an alternate, just so, and then when the bid comes in favorably, hopefully, then, we can do.
Expand.
Yeah, we can do the ones that we took out because they're an alternate. We can do them legally and without any issues.
So in the concrete, are you gonna use like 4,000, 5,000 PSI? Or what are you gonna use?
We're gonna do 4,000 and we're gonna have it sealed.
Okay, that's great.
With like a DOT approved
Yeah.
sealing compound.
Will help.
John, and you're gonna stay on, right, and oversee the work?
Yes, I will be here, I promise, definitely.
Yeah, we're on board to do, not inspections, but construction administration. And, so we're ready to, the plan is to go to bid, available next Thursday, and then open here on, I think the 23rd, something like that, or the 13th maybe.
Okay.
3 weeks.
Okay.
Any questions?
One question I had for you is if you had any preference in terms of the color of the pad. I know it looks like you chose yellow out here, but they come in all sorts of colors. Some of them look nicer than others. I don't know if you had a preference. It's, red, black, gray, brown,
The
yellow.
typical colors are yellow and like that salmony, kind of dark salmon color.
Yeah, like the
reddish.
red color,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just being
That's what
that,
DOT does, right? Is that what they do, the red?
Yeah, I
Lately,
think,
they've been
yeah,
doing
but
the red.
sometimes municipalities like to keep
Yeah.
the same color, so it's up, it's,
Since
you know.
we
it's
already
entirely
We have
up-
yellow,
I would stick
Yeah, I
with
would
yellow.
I would agree.
I'm
I wanna match.
I'm a little sad personally, because one of my hopes was that they were gonna address where they made it totally handicap inaccessible at the corner of Central
Of
and
Central
and
and
Common.
Common.
Cause it, but
Why isn't that in the alternate list?
I don't know. I
did
really
see
don't.
Common Street on here, is that?
There's a
I didn't-
Common Street location,
it's
but,
not
but
that
there,
one.
there was an area, when we did the
Oh, we-
Central Street
We
project.
talked about that
We,
last night.
we talked about it
Or
when
I
this,
brought it up
when it
because I
first.
know it was a pet peeve of yours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a pet
So
peeve.
why isn't it there?
Well, we
Already abutted.
Because they wound up focusing on the pads and not on any of the other handicap accessibility issues
Yeah.
along those lines, so.
Based off.
Even
What
though the
exactly
town
is the
created-
issue there?
You know
Well,
where I
when-
saw you out, you were
Yes.
surveying just southeast of that, just slightly, there's a real tough part of the sidewalk where it really comes down hard, so.
Like
And then
steep,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then the
Yeah,
flat part?
and it's actually worse after the work was done on Central
Yeah.
Street than prior.
prior to Central Street getting done, because we weren't compliant at the corner, it meant it had a longer run.
Yep.
And so the rise over run was probably half of what it is today.
Okay.
And it's actually a pretty significant pedestrian hazard, especially if anybody has any mobility issues.
Well, I would suggest if the bids come in well for this, that we look to that, we look to that particular area and, because we're gonna have all of these items are unit price,
Okay,
they're,
Okay, so
I
the
didn't
unit
do
price.
them per each, they're all based on square footage of this and length of that. So.
and the only other comment to add to that, so is it just the ramp itself, or is it?
no, the problem is that the ramp creates a handicap accessibility issue
Gotcha.
in the next stretch of regular
So the problem
sidewalk.
with that is the quirkiness of the block grant is that it would change the eligibility if we extended it beyond the ramp. So the ramp, we can go under the guys that,
Okay, and that may be, that's the answer I'm looking for, is like, is there some,
in my, yeah, the
something
way it was.
associated with the grant?
That sounds like
stops
that
us
would have
from
been the
doing it?
case, yeah, and it's because we're doing an architectural barrier removal project and it's strictly focused at improving accessibility. HUD defines disabled people as low to moderate income, that's what the eligibility, the objective through the CDBG grant, that's what allows us
Got
to.
it.
If we go beyond that, they include all sidewalk for all users of the neighborhood, and
Got
then
it.
it changes the eligibility, it's not just improving the accessibility.
Got it, okay.
One thing I would add too is I'm proposing to allow the contractor, most of these roads are, there's many ways around here and there and they're low traffic. Well, to keep the cost down for flaggers, I'm suggesting that we allow them to close the road and to provide detours because it'll make it quicker for
They don't
them.
have, they don't have the detail cost.
Right, you don't have the detail
Yeah, we
cost.
don't have
And it allows them to do they can do both these ramps at the same time instead
I
of doing
see.
this one and then that one, because they have to keep it labeled. Now, on River Street, they're gonna have to use details there, because that's just, that it's too busy there. But, on Kimball Street and Hayden Avenue, and, I think it's very reasonable to, it'll take, once the contractor gets rolling, it's probably a 2 or 3 day exercise at each intersection. So it'd be a very, very minor, inconvenience for local people.
Okay. Sorry, the audience.
May I?
Yeah, there's
this is
public,
a
yeah,
public-
public meeting.
Added alternates have to be accepted in order, correct?
Yep.
Does the select board have any preferences of which ones may get priority to get done? In other words, you're gonna have 4 add alternates, is there one that you prefer to be on Falcon?
I think there's 3, so there's, I probably said 3 or 4. Kimball and Hyde, Kimball and Hayden. There is one that needs
And
road.
Pleasant.
And
Howard.
Pleasant Howard. There is one that needs road reconstruction, and it's on River Street, where you saw me. That I would suggest keeping that in the project, because it's definitely, it's gonna have, it's likely to have busier, more pedestrian traffic there. So that's gonna be in the base bid, and an alternate would be those 3. So, and they can select, if we have room for one more, it's up to the board.
Peter's asking.
Peter?
I, through the chair, if I may, since we're updating, so the short timings on Central Street, it doesn't sound like it, but based on proximity, any of these affect any mailboxes?
No,
Okay.
no.
Good question.
No, because we're,
And since we're on Kimball Street, we're going to get crosses at high. I know there are mailboxes close by, but if you're going to.
right, yeah, I mean, I did detailed field survey at each one. It's really just to remove and replace where it is.
Okay.
Just with, sometimes having to cut back a little further to get the proper mandated slopes. Is that it?
I don't think I have anything else.
Great. So we'll be, these are ready for bid, and I'll fix the cover sheet and,
You can leave it.
no, it's easy enough.
All right, any other questions? Do we need a motion? I'm assuming? No?
No, it's
No?
good.
All right, perfect.
Presentation.
All right,
Yeah.
thanks,
Thank you,
thanks,
thank
John.
you, thanks,
Thank you very much. Hey, Bruce. Can you hold on one?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, moving on to number 6, 1-day pouring permits, deep root discussion/vote.
I'll make a motion.
Can I talk about that?
Okay, let me make a motion so we can get it under the.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve a 1-day pouring license for Deep Roots.
Second.
Any discussion? Shelby, you want to come on?
Yeah. Thanks.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Hello. Shelby Hill. So I'm here on behalf of Deep Roots Distillery and also Anna from the Cultural Council, in which they organized the 1-day pouring permit. They reached out to me, well, Anna did, because apparently with a 1-day pouring permit, it has to be a nonprofit that is taking out the pouring permit. So they've asked Friends of Brookfield to do that. And I have to contact the Friends of Brookfield members to see if everybody approves that or not. So we'll be submitting a 1-day pouring permit from the Friends of Brookfield on behalf of the Cultural Council. So it will come up next week.
So then this
What
is-
happens, you wanted
Yeah.
all alcohol. In order to.
Exactly.
All
Alcohol,
alcohol
yeah, you need a
permit, it has to be a nonprofit.
Right.
So therefore, the one you have in here is just beer and wine because that's what she agreed to, but now she's
Exactly.
switching back. Is that what
And you
you're
have
saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
So-
have time to do that.
So next week, if you can put me on the agenda, that would be fantastic. Just in case I get the approval,
Yeah.
which I'm hoping I do from the Friends of Brookfield.
The 29th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
All right.
okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
yeah, when is so for the following, 7/24, so they need it for the
That's what I'm saying, the next
Right.
meeting's not till the
It's
29th.
next. Oh, the next meeting is not until the 29th?
Correct.
We can just do a special meeting really quick.
Well, she knew that too, cause I told her, cause originally we were gonna, I said, you can either do it tonight or we can do it on the 29th. She said, well, if she misses the first one, she, so it didn't seem
Yeah.
a big deal to her.
Either we could do a remote or
Yeah, I think, when is the event?
we could,
The 24th.
we could
which is next
conditionally
week.
approve pending submission.
I don't know. I would say yes, but only because it's the alcohol license for the ABCC. I'm gonna say no. Yeah, they're
Well,
fussy.
they could do beer and wine for the 24th and then do the,
Sure.
do that and then. they
Yeah,
could do
well,
the
why
other
don't- why don't we at
other
least-
ones.
I would be willing to meet again to do this, to get it done if we could.
Yeah, it'll take literally
Just-
5 seconds.
yeah.
Yeah, it won't take very long and I'll do it tomorrow. So I'm gonna call all of the members tonight and tomorrow morning to make sure that everybody is okay with it in the committee. And then I'll just, like, yeah, nobody's here tomorrow, right? It's Friday.
So the
That's
tw-
Friday.
so the 24th is when? Is it a week from?
You have a meeting on the 20th, by the way, just to do that, the,
Executive
the
session for
executive session.
negotiations.
You wanna pop it in there?
No, you already had a post. Today's Thursday.
24th
For
is
Monday.
Friday,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
The 24th is Friday, so we need to
It's a
have a
concept
meeting
on common.
sometime next week.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm okay. Any day.
So we'll
I don't
have
have
another meeting.
Okay, I'll submit it tomorrow.
Yeah, just.
And
we'll pick-
then
we'll
through
pick-
Karen and then, yeah,
Yeah, we'll pick a date
You
and
guys
I'll let you know.
just let me know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you need me here, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, but if you have any questions, do you have any questions right now for me?
No.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Yep. All right, so we're gonna skip. No vote. Number 7, change order number 1 for the Rice Corner Cross Culvert Replacement Project. And we'll do 8 too, change order number 2 for the Rice Corner Cross Road
So I was
Cross
kind of
Culvert Replacement
hoping
Project.
Jeff Howland would be here to, I had a couple
Yeah, me
questions
too.
about that, but
I'm sorry, what was that?
I was hoping Jeff Holland would be here so we could ask some questions, because I know we got a notice that it's extended by another 30 days, but I wanted to know if that was firm. And I know they're waiting for some precast concrete.
They were waiting for the culvert it got delayed is what he told me on the phone. And he described this as a balancing change order to change the proposed guardrail from cable rail to TL3 within the project limits. And there's no additional, the cost changes will be covered by the amount that's available in the project.
But my concern is the time frame and how much longer, because they sold the project to us as very temporary road closure, and it's getting to be quite some time.
I think my understanding is there's frustration by everybody involved at how long it's taking to get the culvert. It's not in anyone's particular control.
Well, it's a precast concrete culvert that they should,
No, I understand.
they should have had made before they opened the road up. If they didn't have it, they shouldn't open the road. That's my concern, but
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. And we had a grant deadline we were working with too. So he's sorted that out with with the state so that will not be, and given them the paperwork they need to be able to
Justify keeping it open.
justify and get us the funds so we can pay when it does come in. Yeah, I can't answer, I'm sorry, that specific question for you, but
Yeah, could you mind reaching out to him and
Oh,
just ask
sure.
him for an update? Yeah,
absolutely.
thanks. Anything else?
no, I'll make a motion that we accept change order 1 and change order 2 for the Rice Corner Road culvert replacement project.
Say it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 9, ratify end of year transfer request signatures.
There are 2 of them. One was to move some money from town hall improvements to tax title to cover the invoices that the town has incurred over the last year. So we closed those out in FY '26. And the other was to move money from veterans caseworker to electricity for a similar reason, to pay those bills as they came in. We needed a signature while, before we had a full board meeting, so Mr. Chafee signed it, and like we did the last time, we need the full board to then ratify his signature.
I move that we ratify the signed year-end transfers.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 10, nothing, and then town administrators report.
I don't have anything new tonight. I would say, did we do number 4 on your list, or did we miss that one?
Oh, I think we skipped over.
Oh,
it
you
'cause we
skipped
wanted
it,
to
yeah,
strike.
you too.
I am not available for day meetings, so if we could do a night meeting,
Okay.
it will be better. 7 or after.
Let's pick a day. Eric's gonna be starting, when's the next time there's a, can you do Wednesday nights? Cause what I'd like to do is coordinate it.
Yeah, because I think that's a late night, is Wednesday anyway.
Right, exactly. Well, it's not every Wednesday. I
Right.
think it's lined up with is it first and third that we have the building inspector in? First and third.
Yep.
So. Let's see here, so. So let's go with, I don't think we have anything critical before the 5th of August, now that we've got Eric starting, so. So let's schedule it for, is 7 o'clock good for you?
7's good.
Okay,
He's
so
not
let's-
here that 1 week. That's a 1 week he had a pre-planned vacation.
Oh, that's right. Well, then let's do it a week earlier, even though he
Maybe
won't
we could just
necessarily
ask
be
him to come in.
We'll just ask him to come in. Normally, you'd only do first
Stay
and
late.
third, but it'll be the 5th. Just have him get in that cycle of every other week.
And I don't
So-
mind if he posts his office hours, that he comes in a little later so that he can stay late. He's
Yeah.
not here too long.
Oh, yeah, that's. I think on a high level, we had talked about just having them work like the Tuesday through Thursday, and when it's a late Wednesday, it's a late Wednesday. Or it's
Okay.
Monday through Wednesday. I'm not sure. I think it's actually Monday through Wednesday that we had talked about.
So that would be the 29th.
This would be the 29th.
So we already have a select board meeting at 7.
Perfect.
Can,
We can make it a joint meeting and just be done with it. So, well, it's always a joint meeting.
yes,
anyway, so-
exactly.
So why don't we just
Yeah.
call the 29th the
Sure.
next time we meet anyway? So-
Yep.
And we'll just bring up any assessor topics there. So,
All right. No,
Alright, anything else?
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Oh,
Peter?
If I may, through the chair, just to back on. The gentleman gave the presentation, I took the opportunity, he was willing, I took him down to the crosswalk at Central and Common and showed it to him. And he definitely agrees with the conversation that was going on without even knowing it going in. That needs to at least be studied a little bit more. The sidewalk in front of your residence and that crosswalk where they two converge. So it sounds like he's gonna look at it a little bit further as they get into the project, and that may end up being the 5th possible add-on. If nothing else, he can look and says, okay, this is how far out of compliance / grade we are. And I'm going out and say, maybe it becomes part of the next CDBG grant to address a couple of these others.
Yep.
Where maybe work, but we like. Yeah, there was a little bit of that. So now it came up and you could tell he was interested, but he had a goal here, but he seemed very optimistic. The bids are gonna come in low, so yeah, we may be able to get that one as a 5th because of compliance issues.
Okay.
Status.
but I
Great.
think, I think it could also be the first project of our next highway superintendent.
well, sadly, there's other big concerns in town. I was just
No, I get it.
disappointed because we were trying to address accessibility, and to me, that's actually worse than any of the corners that we were
Yeah.
handling.
And we talked about, I
Yeah, I remember
specifically
you brought it up last time.
Right, so,
I brought it up so you wouldn't have to.
thank you.
It's at your house.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, you
it's
brought it
one of the
up, yeah.
reasons why I don't wanna make a big fat hairy deal out of it, is because,
I
know, but I'm gonna see. But at the same time, it is a legitimate concern, I mean, it's not just
oh, right, yeah. no, I
folks from
get-
my
yeah,
residents that
yeah,
I've
not-
seen like nearly take a digger who have
It's not fair
walkers
either.
and stuff going down that hill, like, it's just
Because
bad.
you
Yeah.
go do this.
All right, motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, so can I post a meeting for Wednesday, the 22nd at 7 PM to do that,
Yeah.
take care of that one day? Okay.
Well, do you need to do it at 7 PM or could you
Oh,
do
yeah.
it some other time
Well,
since
it's-
it's one
up to
item?
Seven-
Rich,
seven's
yeah,
better
'cause
for
Rich
me.
can't be-
Oh, okay, sorry. Is it gonna be a remote meeting?
And I gotta work. It doesn't have to be.
Why couldn't they?